Hey guys, Constance here at A Good Life Farm. Yes, Edith. So I thought I would just walk you through the front garden area. I haven't done that in a little bit. And I thought I would just share with you some of the things that have been taking place out here. First of all, there is the obvious. Oh my goodness, you guys, every time I come out here and start looking at the arch here, I find more loofahs, more new loofahs. So what I've been doing is every time I find one, I come out here with some surveyor tape and I mark it with this so that I can find them in this jungle. And the reason I use this, first of all, is because it's nice and bright and easy to see. Secondly, it's kind of stretchy, so as the vine and the plant grows, it's not going to be hindered at all. And I'm telling you, every time I come out I find more. Here's one right here that's new and hasn't been marked. Oh my heavens. And it is wild how quickly these things are growing and very encouraging. I mean, look at this thing back here. It is a beast. Look at this. And there is a whole bunch of these things in here. Here's another. Here's another. I mean, they're everywhere. Look at this. And there's more of them all through here, as you can see. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one up here. I mean, here's a little bitty one that I just found yesterday. And more all up in here. So there will certainly not be a shortage of loofahs from the garden. And down on the ground here, I know it looks a little messy. You see I got vine and stuff all over the place. But I actually do kind of prune the excess vine off of this because it's like kudzu. It just goes crazy and it'll work its way up across onto the fence. And so any of the tendrils that just start going nuts, I snip them off and I toss them on the ground because Edith and the ducks love to eat the leaves and they love those tiny little tendrils. I think that's Edith's favorite. So I just toss it on the ground and let them enjoy it. So I do need to water this evening. Everything's looking a wee tad parched, but things are coming along. This is my low bed down here that was just flowers, and it's just kind of a jungle. It's sort of laid over a little bit because the ducks like to get in there and make a bit of a mess. But you can see there's lantanas, there's some dianthus still hanging on. The lavender never did bloom and it's looking really rough. So I don't know if I'm going to get any flowers from it. Half of it looks like it's dead here. My coleus is looking a little sad. It's thirsty, it needs some water. And then this whole offshoot came off it, which looks like coleus, but there's no color. So I'm not quite sure what it is. Look at this. And of course, it's all laid over because of the ducks. So I come over here and show you the big long bed. So I've got some zinnias about to open that I planted. I've also got a fire ant mound coming up down there. You can see that. So I need to mix up some of my spray. Now I treated all of my raised beds and everything with my natural fire ant spray back in the spring, and I fully expected to have to do that over and over and over again. But this is the first mound that has come back since I treated it in the springtime. So I am so impressed with how that all natural organic fire ant treatment worked. I mean, how effective it was. And so I will have to mix up some more of that when I get back in town, because I'm leaving in the morning to go on my trip to Dollywood. So I will have to make a note to do that when I get back. If you are someplace that has fire ants that you have to deal with as well, I have a video where I talk about how to make that natural spray, and I will link that down below so that you can find that. It's completely natural, safe for organic gardens, and clearly it works really well. Alright, so over here, this is some marjoram that I planted back in the spring. These herbs right here are all from the springtime. I've got some Greek oregano here. I've got a little bit of lemon thyme that I had planted down here, and it was just completely suffocated by all of the flowers that were in this bed over the springtime, or over the summer I should say, and part of it hung on, so it's kind of starting to come back now. Of course, I've got a whole bunch of Genovese basil. This down here is some Tulsi basil, some holy basil that came back on its own. Here is one of my sunflowers that I planted. I have another one over here. It's about 2 feet tall. Here is my first little Persian carpet zinnia that has blossomed. There's a few of those in there. There's a whole bunch of this Tulsi basil. Look at all that. Crazy. Alright, down here is one of my brassicas. I don't know what it is brassicas because they're all mixed up. My seed tray got disorganized and I don't know what's what. I know that this and this are the same thing. I'm thinking they might be broccoli, but I don't know. Alright, this right here I think is cabbage. Alright, my queen lime zinnias, these are from back in the spring. It all laid over after a huge storm, but it didn't die, so I just kind of left it. And it's looking a little rough, but it is still producing flowers, and so I just kind of left it. My pineapple sage over there is in full bloom in all its late summer glory. And then let me swing around here. Alright. And then down here I planted a couple zinnias. Now I planted some cabbages in here, but something is starting to nibble on them. I don't know what. What is getting my cabbage? I might need to put some neem spray out here on these to try and help them. And then this is my beautiful English thyme that has been doing wonderfully, and my garden sage. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I haven't shown you my asparagus patch in a while, so I want to show you how well this is doing. I started this in the spring, brand new raised bed just for asparagus. I do have a couple things of thyme down in there, but it's mainly all asparagus. And check this out. It is completely full of asparagus fronds. We've got all these sprouts down in here where they've come up. Look at all that. And this is pretty cool. I never knew that asparagus formed these little berries. Isn't that wild? I mean, it kind of makes sense because you can grow asparagus from seeds, so the seeds got to come from somewhere, right? I thought that was pretty cool. And then down in there you can see some of my thyme. I do have some grass trying to get in there though. I'm going to have to come out here and weed. There's a little bit in there. That daggone centipede grass. That stuff just goes everywhere. Alright, over in this bed where I have the trellis crossed over, I've got some Mazurkia zinnias that are still hanging on from spring. I've got some cabbage plants that are getting started really well. As you can see, I planted them here and there where there is some space. This is that great big bee balm plant, and it's funny how this will get all new green growth and then just hang on like that for pretty much all winter. It doesn't really completely die off. Here I have a Cosmo coming back, or well, I think I might have seeded that one, planted that, I'm not sure. But down there is some more Tulsi basil that I did not plant, it just reseeded itself. And speaking of reseeding, over there we've got Aunt Molly's ground cherries coming back. Even though I didn't plant them, I am not watering over there, but they are they are persistent. Over here I've got another sunflower that has come up among some zinnias. I believe these are more Persian carpet zinnias that I planted in here. I see some orange right there. These Persian carpet zinnias, at first when I planted them, I wasn't too impressed with them because they reminded me too much of marigolds. But as they grew and matured and they started showing all these different color patterns, I fell in love with them and decided that they were the perfect autumn flower, just like sunflowers. And so I went ahead and planted some again because they grew on me. They won me over. And then finally I have my magnolia tendril peas that are coming up the trellis here. And hopefully we will get some lovely blossoms coming off of these. And some peas, of course. Alright, so I am beginning to lose light, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed the walk through the front garden, and hopefully things continue to progress. And I've got some things growing out in the big garden area as well. I have some pumpkins and some more cabbages, not a whole lot out there. I'm mostly focusing things in up here. And I haven't planted my root vegetables yet, my beets and carrots and all of that. I'm waiting for the weather to cool down because we are still in the upper 90s here in northern Alabama. It might be autumn, but summer likes to linger. So waiting for it to cool down so I can do that. So that is it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for joining me here again at A Good Life Farm. My name is Constance, and I'll talk to y'all next time.